Hello, friends, and welcome to our class on health and wellness. It's our turn. This is the official first week. And I know there's a little bit of confusion. That was my fault. I was doing a lot of traveling, but I want to definitely start off on week one again. And the reason is because there was a lot of confusion, that there was also people who were not able to start the program. And I'd like us all to start together as best as we can so we can better support each other throughout this process. So this video is going to be a little longish. I'm going to walk you through the website. I'm going to walk you through the discussion area. This part's going to be brief, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about week one awareness and some of the things we're going to try to accomplish not only this week, but throughout our 8 weeks together. This is our website. Da, da, da. And under each week, you'll notice that I have some extra links. And so we have basically a navigation bar that has nested things underneath it. At this point, I'm hoping that you are able to go home, read the home page, what we're trying to accomplish here. Listen to Jess Baker, who has a wonderful TED Talk on body image, and it's so important. And I'll be talking about this a little bit later. Um, Realize that we are going to be working on the 5 foundations of hope. Okay. And so this is going to correspond with what we had. I'm not sure why. Copy heading link. I may have to fix this because it shouldn't be copied to board, but I'll fix this for us later. And then this is our discussion area. Let me click on this link. Here we are. This is our discussion area, and Melissa's already started, and I've started a little bit, and so has uh, uh, Karen, I believe. Anyways, so I've created this discussion area outside of what we usually do on Facebook because I think it is really important to be able to keep those two places separate so that people who did not want to participate in this won't feel bombarded. Okay. Um, Under the discussion, kind of like on our website here, we have different weeks. So every week, I'm going to be bringing us uh, different questions to answer and engage in as a group, and then we can go back and forth here on how to engage back and forth. Okay, so we're going to stick on week one, but I'll be putting more stuff in week two and so on and so forth when we get there. Okay, so that is a general idea of how to get around this website and where to find information. Let's start with the first week awareness. This is the most uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense week, because you're going to do a lot of things this week that you might not do already. And that is basically, I'm asking you to become really aware of a few things. First, how do you feel about yourself? How do you think about yourself? And what is your self talk around the topics of weight loss, health, and wellness? And it's very important because the reason I started off with Jess Baker here and her TED Talk is she does a really good job at reminding us how in our world our priorities are a little bit messed up. It's so vital to have self-love for our bodies. It truly is. Because no matter how much weight we have on us or what our goals are, by having a negative self body view, we are basically harming our efforts at being healthy before we even start the process. It really is easy to lose weight. You eat next to nothing, you exercise as much as you can, you drink as much water as you can, and bam, you're going to lose weight. But this isn't a good way to lose weight. It's not healthy, it's not helpful, and it won't help your life in the long run. is important is to be aware of how we treat ourselves, how we treat ourselves of our self-talk, how we treat ourselves about the way we eat, and how we treat ourselves with our exercise. And to ask ourselves quite honestly, are these good and positive habits I'm engaged in or not? So that's what this first week is all about, is just becoming really aware of where we are at now. And it's important, I think, to ask yourself and to make sure that you're not making value judgments. You're just determining where you are at this moment in time. And this information then is going to help you to make better decisions about where you would like to go and how you plan on getting there. So there's a few assignments. This week, I want us all to record our weight and measurements. Now, you can use the personal Google form that I've created for you, but you can also go to MyFitnessPal, and let me sign in. It's being difficult. Hold on. There we go. Log me in. And if you go under check-in right here, you can see a place to put your measurements, and this is super helpful. This is actually new, so I want to encourage you to use this, especially if you find the Google Plus form confusing. So, for example, I've gained weight since my vacations. So I'm now at 151 pounds, and I measured today my neck, and it's in inches, my waist size, my hip size. Um, and then I added some other measurements here. You can actually track additional measurements here. I included my chest size and my thighs, mostly because I'm curious about how my thighs may change throughout this process. So once a week, I want you to go through and check in. Where are you at? And I'm going to send an article on this, but one of the ways people help themselves lose weight and live healthier lives is by literally checking in on where they are at weekly without a value judgment. And this is really hard, of course. I'm disappointed that I have gained 4 pounds since the last time I was actually on here. And I've been on vacation. I've been eating poorly. There was lots of candy during my time in Tacoma. But you know what? I'm not going to be angry at myself. I need to just realize that being healthy is a process. And so, in my process right now, I need to drop a few pounds, but that's okay. It's part of the process. And I'm not going to be angry at myself about it, because if you are, you're actually harming yourself. You're creating extra negatives in the process. So, first thing to do is to take these measurements. And again, taking these measurements will help you better know where you are at and help you better set goals about where you are going. You can also, and this is optional, take pictures of yourself. I find it is helpful to see the transformation, because transformations are slow, very, very slow in coming. So it is helpful to have a series of pictures that you can compare. Oh, this is where I was on week 1, and this is where I am now on week 8. So you might want to take some pictures and keep track of those. A fitness test. If you have not done any exercise, it's a good idea to have a good idea where you are at fitness wise. And I have a link here for the fitness test. So if you need to take it, it's a good idea to do so, because if you decide to work at a gym or even just to bring in extra exercise outside of a gym, knowing what your fitness level is at will help you decide where you need to start and how you can challenge yourself slowly but surely in increments. Okay. And then also, I want you to be very aware this week of your food intake. I don't want you to be on a diet this week. I just want you to be aware of what you are eating and how much you are eating and what is the general nutritional makeup of that food. One of the things I find often is that we are not very aware of what we are eating how much we are eating, and what is in the food that we are eating. A lot of us are very busy. We have tons of things that we need to get done during the day. And so sometimes all of this kind of comes in a perfect storm, right? We stop at McDonald's because we don't have enough time to make dinner, or we have a job and a family and we can't do everything at once. So we need to understand how it is we're eating and how it is we're living. And the best way to do it is just spend a week and track it all. It doesn't matter. Try not to judge yourself. If you have a piece of candy, put this in. If you, eat a large meal at a restaurant, add this in. Just be honest with yourself and see where you're at. I'm also going to ask you to track your water because most of us don't actually take in the amount of water that we need, and you can add food here and water here. Okay, so this is the water. And here's the food. So you can get an app for MyFitnessPal. It works for Android, it works for iOS, and it works on the computer. I have an app for my phone, and then I just when I'm really working at it, I keep my app up here as well. So let's look at my breakfast. So for breakfast today, I had one of my green smoothies, and I think I have a recipe for that. Hold on. I may not have a recipe for that. I do not. I should make a recipe. So my green smoothie, and let's just go back to the breakfast real quick. So my green smoothie involves 2 cups of mixed greens. Uh, I got them from Sam's Club, so let me see what comes up here. Yeah, this works well. Organic mixed streams. No, I think it's probably more like this. So I have at least 2 cups, sometimes 3. So I'll just change the serving size here. I think I had two cups this morning. All right. And I also had frozen mixed fruit. And what's nice about the app for your phones is you can actually, there we go, I had 1.5. You can actually scan the food bars and it will automatically put in, which is really terrific. And then I had 1/3 cup of grape nuts. Grape nuts. And boy, do they have a lot of calories, huh? Add to food. All right. And I also had some milk. So we have whole milk in our house. Whole milk. There it is. And I had about a half, well, actually about 1/4 a cup today. Okay, and then I've had 2 cups of water today, so that's where I'm at in the water. All right, so I am at 507 calories already, and that's because of the grape nuts. The grape nuts are really has a lot of high calorie content and a high sodium content. So it's not something I normally eat, but I was very hungry today. So there you are. So I'm going to track my food the entire day and I'm just going to see what I basically eat. I also want you to track your exercise. If you have a Fitbit or something, you'll be able to automatically track things like how many steps you take during the day. I try to get 10,000 steps in a day. I am not always successful, but that's my particular goal. So try to, if you have something that can measure these type of things, and a lot of times our phones can measure it as well, look to getting an app that helps you measure your exercise. You can put your exercise in here with the database, but you can also get a different app that will connect to MyFitnessPal if you want. So this week, just be very aware and track everything. Take the time to measure yourself, to track what you're eating, how much of certain things you're eating. And then at the end of the week, we will all get together and we'll talk a little bit about your progress. And I think it's important because this way, if you know where you're starting, you can make some good and reasonable goals about where you want to be. MyFitnessPal can help you do that. I do highly suggest that you do not try to lose more than 2 pounds a week. I know you're like going, oh my God, it'll take me forever to lose my weight, but that is the best way to go about it. MyFitnessPal will help you do that. If you go home and you go to your goals, you can set goals for yourself and how much weight you hope to lose and everything else. So I really want to get down to probably, let's be more reasonable. I want to get down to 140 pounds. Um, and I'm female. I'm generally lightly active throughout my day because I uh, do a lot of getting places on bikes and so on and so forth. I want to exercise at least 3 times a week, and I want at least an hour worth of exercise. Okay. And I want to lose 1 pound to 2 pounds per week. No more than 2 pounds per week, ladies, because really it's not very helpful. Right now, I'm looking at 1 pound per week. I'm going to up it to 1.5 and I update my profile. So this is how I can follow these plans. A matter of fact, it's saying that um, I can start to lose up to 1,000 calories a week by doing 3 workouts for 60 minutes a day. So by December 17th, if I literally follow my plan, I should lose 5.5 pounds. But in my goals, I have very specific nutritional goals, and we'll talk a little bit about this. The nutritional goals allows us to better hit our targets. Now, because I'm going to be exercising more, it's best that I get about 30% protein and about 40% with my carbohydrates. And I'm going to save these changes for myself here. Okay. All right. So that's the end of the video for week 1. I'm looking forward to talking to everybody in our group and really starting to get ready to help us all lose the weight, but most importantly, have a really positive outlook on who we are with the knowledge that all of this is a lifelong process. It's not about literally losing the 2.5 pounds or the 1.5 pounds a week. Although we may set that goal, our real goal is about health and wellness. And that's what we want to do. So, everybody who hasn't actually participated in the discussion yet, come join us. Let's really get involved and see what we can do. Okay. And that's it. Thank you all very much. And I look forward to working with you over the next 8 weeks. Aloha.